While both Sheikh Ahmad al-Asai and his successor Sayyid Kim Rashdi wrote a good deal about alchemical matters and the nature of the so-called philosopher's stone, Al-Ajar, both the Bab and Baha'u'llah have responded to questions about this issue, sometimes in considerable, often arcane detail. A response of the Bab to a question about this elixir, the elixir, reads as follows: a reply of Sayyid Ali Muhammad Shirazi, the Bab, to a question about the alchemical elixir. And now as regards the question about the alchemical elixir, elixir. Know you that God did not create anything except He deposited within it the letter, portion, trace, of the elixir, arf elixir, in accordance with its level of being. And as for the hidden realities, akiq, of the elixir, if you desire to obtain it, then journey with me, us, unto the divine throne, al-Arsh, until you have winged your way above it through the assistance available to you, until, that is, you witness the celestial, Sinaitic, fire, al-Nar, which is, this greatest name of God, Ism Allah al-Akbar. Then make it to blaze forth so as to remove the covering, al-Aib, from the inmost heart, al-Fuad, then place the alchemical retort, al-Kar, upon the brim of the alembic, ad-alembic, and partake of the fruit of the tree which emerges from Mount Sinai, Arsina, above, upon, about, the edge, boundary, Allah-ad, commensurate with, on the level of the divine power, al-Qadir, in the midmost heart of the divine power, Faisir al-Qadr, and let it pour forth unto its place. You shall find that the greatest crimson oil, dun al-Amar al-Akbar, shall appear, upon this, Sinaitic, fire, al-Nar, more rapidly than the twinkling of an eye, Lam al-Bar. In that place you are the very sign of God, both before God and towards God, and likewise in all the worlds according to their capacity, until that is, the matter, al-Amr, the alchemical work, be completed as far as the mineral world, Alarn al-Jamid. Wherefore have we concealed from the vision of such as gaze towards that which bears the marks of contrariness, Mash'ar al-Ad, and have laid it down that there, in that leaf, al-Waraka, is the mystery of the two cosmic, alphabetic lines, Sir al-Sirain, and the two depths, Phi al-Sirain, perchance, that is, some soul might comprehend it. Thus hath He taught us the elixorial mysteries, and of this is God and the proof, the 12th Imam, in very truth, sufficient witness. And if you truly understand, you shall prove able to carry out the art of the elixir, and a elixir, and in that place readily grasp, in very truth, the reality of the matter, Hakikat al-Amr. And such is well known on the part of He whom God hath enabled to witness the creation of the earth and the heavens and the creation of His Logos self. And there is no power, nor any strength save in God, the exalted, the mighty. Blessed be God above that which they have described. And praise be to God the Lord of the worlds. Among the tablets of Baha'u'llah known as the Law-Iksir, tablet of the elixir, is one addressed to Mirza Ali Muhammad Varka, partly printed in Ishraq Kavai edition. An alchemical epistle of Baha'u'llah in reply to a question about the philosopher's stone. He is God. 1. And now as regards that which you hast asked about the philosopher's stone, Al-Ajar. 2. Know that it exists in every locality. 3. In it we decreed the existence of treasures, kunazin, which none hath fathomed save such as we taught the knowledge, ilmin, which is with us. 3. Verily, thy Lord is assuredly knowing, well informed. 4. It, the philosopher's stone, is one, wid, in its own entity spirit, nafs. 5. From it is multiplicity made manifest. 6. Blessed be he who comprehends it, witnesses the power of God within it, and is not held back from this straight path, by it. 7. It, assuredly, is this treasure of God, Kanz Allah, among His servants, the storehouse of the divine mysteries, Moxen al-Asrar, among His creatures, and the dawning place of the divine power, Mal al-Qudrat, to every clear-sighted mystic knower. 1. Within it, the philosopher's stone, we decreed the existence of water, Ma, and we named it quicksilver, mercury, Al-Farar. 2. We nurtured its earth, Ar, with this water, Alma, until there rose up through the power of the water, Baikwat Alma, the oil, Al-Dun, which was concealed within it. 3. It, verily, is the red sulfur, Kibrit Alamar, the crown of crowns, Iklil al-Akalil, and the spirit, Nafs, about which the sages discoursed. 4. And, in the attempt to obtain it, numerous souls have died in their grief. 5. It, the philosopher's stone, is water, ma, in its exterior mode, menzer, fire, al-nar, in its essential nature, and air, al-hawa, in its interior mode, sir. 6. In it we, also, decreed the existence of earth, al-ar. 7. We gave it to drink of its water, ma, and caused the 2 breaths of wisdom, Riyahain Alikmet, to spring up from it. 8. This, verily, enshrines a mighty secret, Sir al-Azim. 1. Then know that it is the philosopher's stone alone that brings the alchemical work, al-amal, to realization. 2. Nothing external, Kharij, enters into it, and nothing internal, Dakil, emerges from it. 3. God, verily, created it a sign of his power between the worlds. 4. The foundation, al, is that about which the alchemical initiates, sages, al-hakama, discoursed, and the mercury, al-zybak, is a water, liquid, ma, which trickles, is distilled, from it. 5. This water, alma, if you art of those that are informed, is the key of the affair, mift al-amr. 6. Should the key, al-mift, become available to thee, then open there with the gates, abwab, of the treasuries of thy Lord in this stone, alajar, from which rivers, anhar, gush forth from before one wise, well informed. 1. In its outer aspect this key, al-mift, is water, ma, while in its inner aspect it is fire, nur. 2. If you should set it above, by distillation, the earth, al-ar, it would ascend through the power of the water, alma, which is the oil, al-dun, spoken of, by, the alchemical initiates, sages, al-yukam. 3. It, verily, has been named with many a name. 4. It, undoubtedly, is the most pure blood, al-dam al-ahar, the penetrating air, al-hawa al-nifid, the ascendant gold, al-dahab al-a with makron ir, and the moist spirit, al-nafs al-rabba. 5. It, assuredly, is an active essence, Jawhar al-fail, the action of which perplexes the inmost hearts of the mature ones. 1. And when you hast comprehended, discovered, the philosopher's stone, al-hajar, and partaken of its substance in accordance with the extent of thy material needs, then detach it from the fire, al-nur. 2. Then shall the 4 elements, Anasir al-Arba'a, be manifest before thee, and you shall find thyself in great bewilderment. Take, then, its water, ma. 3. It, verily, is the male, principal, al-zakar, and its spouse is its sister, which has been named sulfur, kibrit. 4. When days have elapsed, the water, liquid, alma, will conjoin, with its spirit, nafs, and a child, Genesis, birth, al-malad, will be made manifest. 5. Should you witness this birth, then thank God, thy Lord and Lord of all the worlds. 6. It assuredly is the reddish egg, al-bayat al-shakra. 7. Within it we decreed the existence of soul, al-ruh, spirit, al-nafs, and body, form, al-jasid. 8. We, verily, named this egg, al-bayat, the philosopher's stone, al-hajar. 9. We, by God, have uncovered it, as secret. 10. It is not concealed from the divines, al-ulama, the mystics, al-urafa, or the philosophers, al-yukam. 11. And your Lord is witness unto that which assert. 12. And should you attain it and God provide for you in this respect, then this is but the beginning of the stage, makam, of alchemical regulation. 1. Take hold of it through the strength of God and his might, and extract from it the soul, al-ruh, the spirit, al-nafs, and the body, al-jasid, and purify each of them. 2. Then combine, marry, them in a blind retort, kar adamiyah, such that they all become a single reality. 3. Then shall the alchemical work, task, al-amal, have been completed before thee. 4. And then you shall see the power of thy Lord, and find thyself in a state of astonishment over this mighty, alchemical, art, al-sana al-azim. 5. Then, if you should cast a mere dirham of it, the philosopher's stone, upon a myriad well-proportioned, mineral, forms, al-ashad al-mutadalat, it would assuredly, with the permission of God, the creator of existence, transform them. 6. And you would find them a son, shams, pure gold. 7. In sincerity have we thus expounded for thee a noble exposition through which shall the poor and the needy be enriched. 8. Yet is it incumbent on he who understands it that he not bring it to realization for his own sake. 9. Such an one is of those possessed of piety. 10. By God. With thy Lord is the knowledge of the ancients and those of recent times. 1. All that which you have heard from he who hath blasphemed God is assuredly falsehood, calumny. 2. Say, O you liar! Die over its alchemies, secret. 3. You shall certainly find him in great loss. 4. He, verily, has committed to writing something of what he heard from us. 5. He failed to grasp, even, the surface level of that which flowed from our pen and our tongue. 6. If you are of those characterized by justice, you would come to confirm this. 7. He does not know the right hand from the left or the nature of that which has been concealed within the pavilion of the grandeur of thy Lord, the powerful, the preserver, the all-knowing. 8. We have revealed multifarious tablets, alwa, about everything you have inquired about. 9. If it be your desire, examine them in order that you may be fully assured that all branches of learning, ulam, are with thy Lord. 10. And none comprehends them save he himself, the all-knowing. Mary the Jewess or Copt, Egyptian, 3rd century CE, has for long been regarded as the key founding mother figure of Hellenistic or ancient Egyptian alchemy. Her wise utterances and practical alchemical equipment have for many centuries been referred to in both ancient Hellenistic sources and later Islamic alchemical tracts. Aspects of her alchemical legacy has also been studied by a few Western academics and other esoterically minded mystagogues. For a late European text ascribed to her as Mary the Prophetess, following the supposition of the Greek alchemist Zosimus of Panopolis, FL early 4th century CE, who also considered her an elder sister of Moses. Cf. the Jewess, refer, Mary said, O Aros, by God, if thy senses or understanding were not solid, you should not hear these words from me, until the Lord should fill my heart with the grace of his divine will. Nevertheless take the alum of Spain, the white gum and the red gum, which is the kibric of the philosophers, and their soul and the greater tincture, and marry gum with gum together with a true matrimony. Mary said, make them like a running water, and vitrify this water which has been labored or wrought upon for one day, out of the 2 lubecs, upon the fixed body, and liquefy them by the secret of nature in the vessel of philosophy. Did you understand us? Yes, lady. Note in the above the words referring to the white gum and red gum and their relationship with sulfur and the sun, and compare the tablet of Baha'u'llah at 3.2.2, the foundation, al, of the alchemical work, Amal, of Mary concerns the white gum, al-Samkat al-Baya, and the red gum, Samkat al-Amr. The concrete, practical legacy of this Mary, known to the general public and all culinary experts, is seen in the name of the French, Bain Marie, Latin Balneum Mariae equals bath of Maria, Mary's bath, loosely, a kind of water bath or double boiler which is rooted in her practical formulations for alchemical equipment. She is also credited as the inventor of various other technical alchemical devices, including the hot ash box, for steady heat, and the dung box, for prolonged heat. The writings of Mary the Jewess, prophetess, or alleged sister of Moses are cited with respect by Zosimus of Panopolis, Akhmim, in Upper Egypt, see, for example, Adhere, and various other early compilers of alchemical texts. In the Hellenistic alchemical tradition, Mary the Jewess or prophetess became an authority figure. The 5th and 6th chapters of Raphael Patai's recent, weighty volume The Jewish Alchemists, a history and source book, Princeton University Press, 1984, are entitled Maria the Jewess, ch. 5 equals pages 60-80, and Zosimus on Maria the Jewess, ch. 6 equals pages 81 to 91. The former chapter commences, Chapter 5 Maria the Jewess. The first non-fictitious alchemists of the Western world lived, as far as can be ascertained, in Hellenistic Egypt. And the earliest among them was Maria Hebrea, Maria the Hebrew, or Maria the Jewess, for whom our chief source is Zosimus the Panopolitan. Zosimus is the first Greek alchemical author whose actual writings have survived. He lived in Hellenistic Egypt, about 300 CE, and wrote an impressive number of works. 22 treatises of his were published in the Greek original and in French translation by Marcellin Berthelot. He also wrote, together with his sister Eusebia, a chemical encyclopedia in 28 books, of which only fragments survived, also published by Berthelot. Nothing is known of Zosimus's life, but it is generally assumed that he was originally from Panopolis in Thebes, and lived in Alexandria. For the most part, Zosimus's writings consist of extensive quotations from older alchemical authorities. The ones whom he quotes most frequently are Pseudo, Democritus, to whom he refers as the philosopher, and Maria the Jewess, whom he calls in most cases simply Maria, although occasionally he styles her the Divine Maria. Despite the frequent references Zosimus makes to Maria, his writings contain practically no clue as to when and where she lived. In his tract on the divine water, however, Zosimus says, the operation of burning is one which all the ancients extolled. Maria, the first, says, the copper burnt with sulfur. FN3 equals Ibid, 180. Elsewhere Zosimus refers to a treatise on furnaces and apparatuses, Perikamenon Kai Organon, which seems to have been written by Maria, as a writing of the ancients. He does this while refusing to comply with the request of his sister Theosebia, who asked him for information on the subject. He concedes that he is unable to treat it more authoritatively than was done in that ancient treatise. From these references to Maria as the first of the ancient authors, one can conclude that she must have lived at least 2 generations before Zosimus himself. We can thus tentatively assign her to the early 3rd century C.E. at the latest. The alchemical epistle of Baha'u'llah expository of an utterance ascribed to Mary the Jewess. 1. The missive, Kitab, was received at the court of oneness and its contents perused. 2. Unto God be praised that you were illumined, in this merciful dawn, far I ram, with the splendors of the lights of the sun of Gnosis. 3. Yet, from the True One, exalted be his characteristics, you did request to be everlastingly adorned with the Ethiopian ornament, robe, Arzayabash, and be related to that sanctified shade, Nush. Since it is the divine cause, Amri Ilahi, that is, likewise, related thereto. 4. The might of the everlasting one, Amen, is superlatively great. Nay rather, he is above everything great and supremely great. 5. Greater is he than every, messianic, Qaim, Ariser, and Qayyum, deity self-subsisting. 6. Not can one vision in him save the mystery of divinity, Al-Uluhiyya, and the absolute expression of oneness, Al-Adiyya. 7. We beseech God that he cause worldly eyes to be opened in order that they might come to understand and bear witness that there is no God except him. 8. Eternally was he, in the oneness of his essence, sanctified above even his own being. 9. Everlastingly is he, in the self-subsistence of his own self, sanctified above the mention of aught besides himself, for he is the one absolutely pure by virtue of his transcendent existent being. 10. Exalted is the depiction of the mere possibilities of the singularity of his essence above the characterization of the created things. 11. Sanctified is he by virtue of his personal identity, Ines Biania, from the befitting mention of the inhabitants of the earth and the heavens. And this relative to both the cause and the creation, Amr Weil Kelk, and to everything bounded by both origins and terminations. 12. He, verily, is king of names and attributes and the establisher of the benefits and whatsoever may be intimated in symbolic fashion, Al-Isharat. 13. Blessings and peace be upon he who establishes himself upon a throne, one powerful, most magnificent. 14. Through him were the splendors of glory cleft asunder, for he is one transcended above signs and likenesses, similitudes, Al-Ashara wa Al-Amthal. 15. He is indeed the cupbearer of the pure water which wonderfully flows forth. 16. The one withdrawn from the people of error. 17. One lowly, both in the beginning and at the end, return. And one exalted above such as have turned unto him, who have broken the shackles of their idle fancies, and who reside within the tabernacle. Pavilion of grandeur. 18. Text unclear? 1. As for that which thou hast asked about the discourse, statement, call, of Mary, the Jewess. 2. The foundation, of the alchemical work, Amal, of Mary concerns the white gum, Al-Samkad al-Baya, and the red gum, Samkad al-Amr. 3. The red gum is what emerges from the white gum. and he who attains unto it hath attained the furthermost extremity, al-Gayat al-Qaswa. 4. It is the oil of the alchemical sages, dun al-Akama, and their sulfur, kibri, and also the reddish egg, al-Bayat al-Shakra. 5. This is the meaning of our saying, if it were not for the moon, al-Qamar, there would be no sun, al-Shams, and if it were not for the silver, al-Fidda, there would be no gold, al-Dahab. 6. By the silver we intended the white earth, al-Ar al-Bay. And it is, thus also, the white gum, al-Samgad al-Albay. 7. We caused the gold to emerge from it, and we named it the red gum, al-Samgad al-Amr. 8. It, gold, has innumerable names which none has comprehended save such as are in possession of the knowledge of the archetypal book, Ilm al-Kitab. 9. And with thy Lord is the knowledge of all things. 10. In his grasp are the keys, mufti, of the treasuries of existing things. 11. He is bountiful unto whomsoever he wills and holds back from whomsoever he wills. He, verily, is the mighty, the munificent. 1. And as regards that which she hath stated, take from the branch, subsidiary aspect, far, of the philosophers, stone al-Ajar, and not from the root, basis, of the stone, al-Ajar, certainly, not from the stone, and so on. 2. Know thou that the fundamental basis of the attaining of this noble, alchemical, endeavor, art, is the true knowledge, gnosis, ma'rifat, of the illustrious philosophers, stone, Ajari Mukaram. 3. The taking of the branch, far, of the philosophers, stone, Ajar, is dependent on the real knowledge of the root of the stone, al-Ajar. 4. Every soul who truly knows the root of the philosopher's stone, on the basis of the aforementioned similitudes, amthal, relating to the alchemical work, task, al-Amal, will attain wealth and self-sufficiency, because such a person will be able to perform mighty deeds. 1. All the sages, Hakama, have concealed the root, foundation, of the stone, al-Hajar, with the utmost secrecy. 2. That which they did set forth of the alchemical operations, whether relating to the knowledge of its initial, final, or middle stages, they never expounded in a systematic manner. 3. That which they, the sages, expounded about the external, Barani, alchemical, operations was with a view to diverting attention from the basis, root, of the internal, Javani, alchemical, work. 4. Inasmuch as they found similitudes between the internal, Javani, alchemical, operations and those external, Barani, they expounded them. 5. Wherefore is the alchemical exposition of matters external, Barani, an expression of the ciphers, signs, allusions, metaphors, and similitudes of the alchemical initiates, sages, Hakama. They, for example, made mention of gold, Dahab. 6. Gold, normally, signifies the kind of gold which exists in a particular, earthly, mine, ma-dan-I-mak. 7. But since there is analogy and likeness in terms of color and nature between internal gold, Dahabi Javaniya, and external gold, Dahabi Baraniya, they simply spoke about gold. 8. Inasmuch as the people never discovered the real intention of the sages, they wasted years of their lives occupied with their own idle fancies. 9. In regret they lived, and in regret they went about, for they never did attain the alchemical goal. 10. There, the sages, gold both is gold and it is not gold. 11. Their moon is the moon and it is not the moon. Thus they, the sages, said, our gold is not ordinary gold and it is likewise with silver. 12. In spite of this, most of the servants of God wasted their lives in darkness about the true sense of the external, Baraniya, alchemical, operations, and failed to attain the authentic daybreak. 1. As for that which they designated internal, gold, Javani. 2. This should be viewed in terms of the four elements being hidden in a single reality, Shai-Wid, and which they have interpreted as being the philosopher's stone, Hajar. 3. After differentiation, Tafel, on the part of these possessed of insight, this same interior, gold, Javani, becomes exterior, gold, Barani. 4. While the four elements, Abai-Arba-IH, are concealed in the interior of their own mind, metal, Madan, and are inseparable, the term internal, gold, Javani, is conferred upon it, the gold. stone. 5. Then, after outward combination and differentiation, the name external, gold, Barania, is conferred upon it, the gold stone. 6. On this level external, gold, Baranii, is the essence, ein, of internal, gold, Javanii, and internal, gold, Javanii, the spirit, nafs, of external, gold, Baranii. 7. But some among the sages, alchemical initiates, Yukam, with respect to the 4 elements and the 4 elevated and ancient natures which are concealed and treasured up in the essence of the philosophers, stone, Nafsi Ajar, observed and made mention of realities closely related and connected on a surface level, and thus named it external, gold, Baranii. 8. And such summary fashion was that gold, philosopher's stone, made mention of, by the alchemical initiates, the sages. 1. The intention of pre-existence, Kaitam, is pre-existence in time, Kaitamai Zamani, not that pre-existence which is essential, deity, since priority, maspic, in this case has a cause, illit. 3. Exalted be he above that which belongs to the sphere of origination, alath. 4. We bear witness that the Logos self of the pre-existent, deity, nafs al-Kaitam, which has been understood by such as are nigh unto God and by the sincere ones who have been called into being on his, God's, part. 5. He, God himself, has ever been sanctified above the notion of pre-existence, al-Kaitam, and origination, al-Uth. 6. Supremely holy is he, God, above being described or elucidated. 7. That reality, which he, God, hath named his Logos self, Nafsahu, relates to the divine names and attributes, al-Asma-wa-Alift, which are originated. 8. This is an expression of his, God's, grace unto phenomenal existence, al-Akwin. 9. Exalted be the all-merciful, God in his essence, far above that which he hath ordained for phenomenal existence, al-Akwin. 10. He, verily, is the mighty, the munificent. 1. Then know, O questioner, that the basis of the alchemical task is the true understanding of the philosopher's stone, ajar, and the differentiation of that which is hidden within it, its purification, tather, and unification, tazwij. 2. The spirit of the stone, nafsi ajar, ought, through the instrumentality of its own self, to effect the purification, tather, and differentiation, tafel, of the stone, ajar. 3. 4. If there be external interference, the desired alchemical blending, mizaj, will prove difficult. 1. So take hold of the philosopher's stone and, through the Azrael of torment, Israel-i-Azab, the angel of death, cause the soul, al-Ruh, and spirit, al-Nafs, to emerge from it, the stone. 2. Then strive to purify it, the stone, such that it is cleansed and purified of those impurities that inhibit the alchemical reconstitution, tadbirai amalii, within the stone. 3. And then return again that which hath been extracted from the stone to the body, jasid, or substance, of the stone, so that, through the confirmations of the Israfil of the spirit, Israfil-ir, that dead body, jasid-i-murti, is brought to life. 4. Then, thou shalt observe a wondrous creation, so blessed be God, the best of creators, Esan al-Kalakin, equals Q, 23:14, for the body, jasid, cannot receive a contrary spirit, ri-ger, nor likewise, the spirit, Ruh, receive a contrary body, jasid. 5. This is the truth and no doubt is there about it. 6. Although this soul, R, and spirit, nafs, appear to be two realities after the alchemical differentiation, they are really united in substance, akit, and essence, dat, and are but a single reality. La-i-Kamiya 4, in the name of the peerless friend. Thy letter written in the Arabic tongue is present before our throne, and the reply hath been revealed in the Persian language. Hearken thereto with a pure and sanctified ear. Sorrow not at the delay in thy affairs. Each matter is dependent upon its proper season. With respect to the blending and coming together of things, two methods can be discerned. One is through the absolute and unmitigated power which is conditioned upon his permission and is strictly confined to his Godhead. The other is through the conjunction of mutually attractive and non-repellent substances, and this occurreth after knowledge is gained of the perfect nature, and is known to the alchemists as the egg, and that is the worked and crafted stone. It containeth the four humours, and after separation, perfect blending is again possible. We ask God to aid thee to accomplish that which he loveth and is well pleasing unto him, and to destine for thee that which is best in his sight. He, verily, is the guardian of the faithful. The glory of God rest upon thee, and upon thy Son, and whoso is with thee. We ask him graciously to enable all to serve him and to obey him. Verily, he is the Almighty, the ever-forgiving, the most bountiful. The Law Ichemia, an alchemical tablet to Abbas, see point 1856-60. An interesting use is made at paragraph XXVIIF of Jabir B. A with Macron YYA with Macron NS, Kitab al-Mawazin al-Sagar, the Lesser Book of the Balances, the Arabic text of which can be found, for example, in Bertholot, Chimmy. Volume 3, page 114. See note below. Law Ichemia, in the name of God, the all-sufficing, the one implored for help. 1. It ought first to be understood in what manner the powerful ruler and wise sovereign has established this firmly established, alchemical, secret, Sir-i Kawam, and mighty affair, Amri Azim, equals the nature of being. 2. Wherefore ought the human soul, nafs, and spirit, ruh, to be cleansed and purified of self and passion until it be capable of receiving the truth regarding this perpetual trust, wadi at Iamidniyi, and this lordly alchemical art, and Iee Rabbiniyi. 1. Then take the luminous water, liquid, Abai Nirani, from the dusky fire, Adishai Om, so that the upper part be distinguished above the lower part, and water, liquid, and earth, substance, have been separated from each other. 2. After this separation purify these two parts, until they are capable of becoming associated, Tazwij, and blended, Mizaj. 3. That is to say, gently heat the sulfur, kibrit, in the fire, Adish, until that tincture, Ta-fin, attains the desired, moist constituency of the alchemical sages, Rabbi Yukum. 4. This until, that is, the earth, substance, of the sulfur, Ri kibrit, emerges from the water, liquid, of the sulfur, Abai kibrit. 5. In this way you shall cause this subtle, acrid, fiery, and luminous water, my Lafia with Macron Ddi Nirani, to be set over this dark earth, substance, Ri Om, until there does not remain any of that water, liquid, in the earth, substance. 6. In either the distillation, Takr, or the refuse of the distillation, Radi Takr. 7. And this until, that is, all the water, liquid, has been collected. 1. And if you desire to obtain the first distillation, Mukari all, then make it to be set above the earth, substance, of the sulfur, Ri kibrit, and repeat the process until this divine water, Ma Elahi, dissolves that which remains of the reality of this entity, self, substance, Akatai nafs, and this earth, substance, to the degree that no trace of this entity, nafs, remains in the earth, substance. 2. At that point the pillars, base, of the philosopher's stone, Arkani Ajar, namely, the spirit, Ruh, the soul, nafs, and the body, Jasid, will have been differentiated, prepared. 3. Therein is the mystery of the divine unity, Sir-i Taud, of his eminence the Creator evident and manifest in this wondrous, alchemical, art. 1. Then you shall set a portion of this acid, sour, vinegar, Kali Thakif, which is the mercury of the prophets, Zibakai and Baya, above this purified earth. 2. This until the divine water, Ma Elahi, dissolves the silver, Faya, taken from natural gold, Dahabai Madan, and assimilates it unto itself. 3. Do this, in other words, until the sulphureous earth, Ari Kibriti, is united with the mercurial water, Ma Zabaki, or it become waxy, impermeable, Tashmi Shawad. 4. At this stage, on a few mornings put the waxed earth, Ri Mashama, into the acid, vinegar, Kal, until the waxing process is completed, Nti Tashmi. 5. For such is the first stage of the assimilation which you can attain. 6. This stage is that of the level of all of the operations, gates, Tamami Abwab, of the elixir of the moon, Iksuri Kamar. 1. And then, if you desire to obtain the aforementioned purified oil, Dunaim Wahar, which is the same as the substantive reality, self, nafs. 2. Then feed the luminous waxy earth, Ri Mashama e Munivar, to it, which will result in the completion of the elixir of the sun, Ixuri Shams. 3. And of the operations, gates, Abwab, this process, gate, is greatest. 3. Whomsoever has attained it has assuredly attained to the furthermost extremity, Al-Gayat Al-Qua. 1. Know thou in addition, that certain students of this, alchemical, art, sanat, outside of correctly estimating or regulating the apposition of spirit, ruh, and body, jasid, effect a conjunction, marriage, tazwij, and expect thereby to accomplish the desired blending, mizaj. 2. But this is very improbable, for they will never attain the goal in this uncontrolled way. 3. The following maxim, kalimat, is numbered among the secrets, asrar, of the prophets, and baya, and of the alchemical initiates, sages, yukam, who were aware that spirit, ruh, cannot dwell in an unsuitable body, jasid iger, nor body, jasid, receive a contrary spirit, ruh igeri. 4. If this matter be correctly understood, you shall attain all that you have desired, ? 1. Some have asserted that the philosopher's stone, ajar, is the microcosm, alamiasker, lesser world, which derives from the macrocosm, alami akbar, the greater world. 2. This inasmuch as they consider that humanity embodies each of the three kingdoms, species, ajnas, namely, 1. The plant, nabit, 2. The mineral, ajar, and 3. The animal, ion. 3. They believe that the exterior aspect of this bodily temple, although it is of the microcosm, alami sagar, is yet, in its interior aspect, an imitation of the macrocosm, haki az alami kabir ast. 4. They have likened the created nature, calc, of the philosopher's stone, ajar, to the created nature, calc, of the human being, ensign, in terms of the fact that he appears from the earth and returns thereto. 5. But consider also that plants do not come forth from the earth except through the action of the further element, water. 1. Then understand, furthermore, O questioner, the subtleties of the mysteries I shall mention, in terms of the secrets of the words, through but a hint, rams, of the riddles, rumas, of the prophets, and baya, so that thou may be acquainted with the secrets of this alchemical matter, Amr. 2. If you would penetrate the riddles of that alchemical knowledge, then know that God blessed and exalted be, he created the earth through the water and created the sun so that it would shine forth upon the earth. 3. Then a vapor, Bukhari, and a smoke, Dukani, rose up, and the heavens, Asman, were created. 4. Then through mature wisdom, Bayakmatai Baliga, the world, universe, Alam, came into being such that the heat of the sun adversely affected the earth. 5. Then, through the perfection of divine power, by Qudrat Camilla, he created the clouds, Sahab, so that rain would fall upon the earth, and from it be manifest every color and hue, Alwanha Waranga, equals the rainbow. 1. Know also that the greatest pillar, Rugni Am, IET element, relating to the aforementioned alchemical operations is fire, Adish, for it is through the instrumentality of it that all these alchemical stages, makamat, ought to find complete realization. 2. But this by means of a light and gentle fire, because the speed of the association of the fire and the oil, done, is a time factor, determined, clear, and assured. It is such that it is unnecessary that it, the matter of the time factor, be demonstrated. 1. And if thou desire to practice alchemy according to the wondrous way, Tariq Badi, and the new path, Sable Jadid, and journey on your way, then gather up the essences, anfas, breaths, spirits, of the minerals, Ma'daniat, as well as their souls, and bodies, Ajsad, according to the natural balance, Bimazan Itabi, which hath been concealed from the eyes and minds of God's servants. 2. Then effect purification until they, the constituents, are purged and cleaned of impurity and blackness. 3. This until each constituent manifest a color in accordance with the exigencies of the universe, Bayakti Alam, and its own natural constituency, Abad Ikud. 4. That is to say, that which is characterized by whiteness, Muqtadi Bay, is whitened, and each constituent capable of redness, Kabbalah Amrat, becomes crimson and red. 5. Then blend these constituents together, but know that neither a complete union of essence, mizajai kalii wakiai, nor a complete union of form, mizajai kalii uret, will not result unless you transform the whole, water, liquid constituency, as something flowing torrentially. 6. Then place it in vinegar, acid, kal, until these constituents are completely blended and unified, until that is, they attain the unity of the absolute certainty, idadai akayakin, in which they, the constituents, admit of no separation and never become differentiated, even though you should attempt to manipulate this in a perfectly controlled manner. 1. This is the stage, makam, of the immortality of forms, kuladai sad, and the gathering of the bodies, hashrai ajam, from their own center, mehalai kud, into the paradise of immortality, janitai kud, which is the station of the permanency, makamai baka, of this spirit of Mercury, ruai zibak. 2. This is its perpetually being established in the sulphureous body, jasadai kibriti. 3. The expulsion, in other words, of the dye, isolatai sibg, and change and alteration at this stage, makam, is impossible except God will it. 4. At this time and on this level the resurrection of the bodies, kayamatai sad, is complete. 5. Such are among the mysteries of the world of nature, asrarai tabiaya, and the essence of alchemical knowledge, ilmi sanaya, and the world of nature, alamai tabaat, which I proffer unto you. 5. Then be thankful for this greatest bounty and mighty favor which none hath anticipated among either the sincere ones or the cherubim. 1. Some among the prophets, and Baya, have, from Mercury, Zibak, alone completed the alchemical task. 2. The mention of that alchemical task has eternally been impermissible and will ever remain impermissible. 3. It hath ever been hidden in the treasuries of infallibility and will ever remain treasured up in the storehouses of the divine power. 4. Know that this luminous, acid vinegar, kalai thakifai nirani, which you have taken from the lordly tree of wisdom, shajaratai ikmatai rabani, if 3 times elevated above the ignoble residue, until fiery, acid, by virtue of the oil, done, which is the sulfur, kibrit, and the dye, sibg, as something identical with the purified earth, mutahar, there will take place a blending, mizaj, or, in other words, a dissolving and then a conjunction. 5. At this point ruby color, lanai yakut, will shine forth and be made manifest and then act upon all the constituent bodies, etc. 6. It will, that is to say, penetrate, ascend through and dye all the bodies of the constituent minerals, etc. Madaniat. 1. Know also, O wayfaring seeker, that in the observable minerals, Madani, Adihira, subtle, Lafa, glorious, Jalila, and invisible, Gebiya, dyes, Sibga, are hidden, even, from the servants of God, who have been successful in attaining this greatest, alchemical, result. 2. This even when it is though the life force of the minerals, that is evident, a very powerful dye which is most subtle, most noble, most powerful and most eminent. 3. And know, also, that the most noble of minerals, ma'aden, which bear a dye, sibg, are 4, namely, 1. Mercury, zibak, 2. Sulfur, kibrit, 3. Arsenic, zarnic, and 4. Sal ammoniac, ammonia, neshadir. 4. Their bodies, etsad, are 1. Gold, dahab, 2. Silver, fire, 3. Lead, 4. Iron, ad, and v. Copper, nus. 4. And the greatest of them all in the dimension, gate, of redness, babai umra, is gold, produced from copper, and in the dimension, gate, of whiteness, babai bay, is the moan, kamar equals silver, produced from lead. 5. As for the soul of redness, nafsai umret, it is sulfur, kibrit, while the spirit of whiteness, nafsai bay, is arsenic and mercury. 6. The cleansing, uniting, and blending agent in the alchemical work is sal ammonia, c. neshadir. 7. And this is all of the dimensions, gates, of the minerals, ma'aden, which have been mentioned. 8. As for the divine mineral, metal, mine, ma'deni ilahi, which is a father, and son, ibn, and Holy Spirit, Ruh al-Quds. It has become known just as it was by means of enigmatic utterances and the subtle expositions of past times. 1. Then it is now evident that the basis of the alchemical work has to do with mercury and sulfur. 2. For there is not possessed of foliage, dhu warwick, nothing vegetative, mundane, but it is formed for the sake of the alchemical art, Leonat, through its coming into relation with the trickling, quivering mercury, by el-Zibak al-Waqif al-Rajraj, which is something possessed of value, dha al-Thaman. 3. This is not, however, the commonly known mercury and sulfur, even though this same mercury and sulfur are readily available, Suchi, being so widespread about the earth that there is no place that is deprived thereof. 4. And this is nothing other than an expression of the extensiveness of the divine mercy and the lordly bounty. 5. The alchemical goal is to open these two pillars, equals mercury and sulfur, so that through their own assistance and without outside interference they are opened up and become blended. The key to this is the operation with heating, fire, miftayadish, the element, with the aid of which they are opened and become blended. 1. And furthermore, every person, by virtue of the faculty of the sharpness of his own insight, hath formed an opinion and regulated matters accordingly. 2. And know thou also that it is the Jabarian science of the balances, ilmi mawazin, which the ancient sages, Ukami az Cable, among the philosophers and others considered to be the most abstruse of the sciences, Ulam, to the extent that they have composed many volumes on this science, ilm. 3. All such matters have been assimilated and been subject to the discriminating powers of your vision and intellect, such that it is unnecessary for me to expose the matter of the science of the balance, mizan, of nature. For, do not suppose though that which hath been mentioned hath been plagiarized from anyone, ? 5. I, Baha'u'llah, have never studied the traditional sciences, wisdom, hikmat, nor been formally educated. 6. Nay, rather, my receipt of the divine favor derives from the penetrating subtle power of the Holy Spirit. 1. Inasmuch as the setting forth of the alchemical exposition has reached this stage, Macam, I shall pursue the matter further by mentioning diverse alchemical terms, names, such as have been set forth and concealed in the alchemical books. 2. This in order that you may comprehend all aspects of the science of alchemy, and entertain neither doubt nor uncertainty about its mysteries or Baha'u'llah's ability to expound them. 3. Then know that the basis of this firm affair, AMR, and mighty alchemical mystery, Sur-i-Azim, is the sun, Shams, and the moon, Qamar, which correspond to the mercury, Zibak, and the sulfur of the prophets, Kibrit and Baya, and sages, Yukam. 4. They have been given many names, Asma, such that the subtlety, Lafa, of the alchemical work remained concealed from the eyes of many, and guarded away from strangers. 5. This to the degree that every non-initiate failed to become one privy to the divine mysteries, Asrar-i-Ilahi, or anyone independently, mystically, informed, Arif, of the treasures of eternal wisdom, Ikmatai Amadniya. 1. Mercury, Zibak, and sulfur, Kibrit, for example, have been given the following names: A. Heaven, Sama, and earth, R. B. Spirit, Ruh, and body, Jasid, C. Male, organ, Dakar, and female, organ, Unta, D. Eastern and Western Mercury, Zibak Sharki Va Garbai, E. Oil, Dun, and water, Ma. F. Soul, Nafs, breath, Nafas, and body, Jasid, G. Head, Ras, and tail, Danab, H. Exterior, Here, and interior, Bin, and I. Blackness, Suwad, and whiteness, Bay. 1. The mercury of the east, Zibak-i Sharki. 2. Sulphurous water, Ma'i Kibrit. 3. Acid, fiery, water, Ma'ad. 4. Acid, or sour, vinegar, Kali Thakif/Stikaf. 5. The water of youth, Ma'i Shab. 6. The milk of the virgin, or Virgo, Labani Adra. 7. The key of the absolute, Miftai Mulak. 8. The water of life, Ma'i. 9. The wine, Kamr. 10. The vinegars, Kal. 11. The urine of the calf, Baulai, and 11. The urine of The youths, boys, Balai Subian. 4. And when distillation has been 3 times been accomplished, that is to say, when the primal water, Mai-al, has been extracted from the olive tree, Shajaretai Zayton, and set above the inferior residue, Safal, and they have put it in the tincture, Ta-fin, and this 3 times, they maintain that it is triangulated, tripled, water, Mai-Muthalath, and that this is the key to the divine treasure, Kilid Dar Kanzai Ilahi. 1. In like manner its earth, Ardashu, was given innumerable names, Asma, for example, 1. Lead, Ra, 2. Antimony, Kul, 4. The copper of wisdom, Nus Alikmat, 5. Magnetite, Magnesa, 6. Lithage, Martek, 7. White lead, Ceruz, Isfidage, 8. The head of the mine, metal, mineral, Ras al-Ma'din, 9. The body, Jasid, and X. The mercury of the west, Zybak-i Garbai, and so on. 19. 1. And know that there are enigmatic names which have not been mentioned. 2. Indeed, in connection with the various levels of the organized accomplishment of that alchemical process, each state and resultant color has been given a specific name, ismi, and accorded a specific designation. 3. For example, the earth, R, before being processed, Tadbir, and purified, Tahir, and while blackness, Suwad, still remains and it has been named, 1. Pitch, or asphalt, Zift, 2. Antimony, Kul, 3. Copper, Nus, and 4. Black lead, Razazai Aswad, 1. Then, after its being delivered of dirt, blackness and darkness is named, I. The sulfur of the whitener, Kiritai Mubai, or reading, the sulfur of the ovary, ? Reading, Kibratai Mabi/Mibia, 2. White lead, Rai Abaya, 3. White lime, Kills Albai, Sik, 4. The purified earth, Ar Al-Muahar, 5. The new earth, Ri Jadid, 6. The potter's clay, AFL, or the infant, AFL, 7. The silver, Faya, and 8. The moan, Kamar. 1. And after its being married, combined, united, Tazwich, and refined, Talif, it is designated as 1. The leaven, Chimera, 2. Gold of the seed of gold. Reading Dahab Badr al-Dahab, or primordial, atomic gold, Dahab Bidar al-Dahab, 3. Red sulfur, Kibrit al-Amar, 4. The sun, Al-Shams, 5. The disk, or bread, of Byzantium, Kur al-Rum, and 6. The full dash, sisters, tulip, of wisdom, Shak-iq Alikmat. 1. Humanity, man, ensign, similarly, with respect to his, every state of being, is designated and characterized by a particular name and title, Biasmi Warazmi, from being. In an embryonic state, Alakat equals, fetal, blood clot, to his being honored with the robe, Mukala Shudan Baikilet, of blessed be God, the best of creators. 2. It is likewise for the various grades of all created beings, Maklukat, and all things aforementioned, if thou would gaze with vision pure and unblemished. 3. All these diverse, alchemical, names have been mentioned, see above, to the end that their diversity not bewilder, human, intellects, at hand, and cause perturbation. 4. This is not but an expression of the clarity of spiritual favor, Sadhajai Maramat, and the essence of spiritual bounty on the part of Bahala. 1. All the prophets, Anbiya, and sages, Yukam, have made mention of this alchemical matter, AMR, by means of cipher and enigma and through diverse names. 2. Thus did certain persons question the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali, D.40/661. Upon him and his family be peace at the moment when he upon him be peace was delivering the sermon of the exposition, Qutbad al-Bayan. 3. And it was said, O commander of the faithful, what is alchemy, alchemia? He replied, yeah. And by my life, it was and it will be and it exists, kana wa yakunu wa kayan. And it was said, what is it? 4. And he, Imam Ali upon him be peace said, it, alchemy, concerns, Inafai, trembling mercury? Reading, Al-Zybak al-Ralaj, lead, Al-Asrab, vitriol, al-Zaj, iron tinctured with saffron, al-Ad al-Muzaffar, and the most green verdigris of copper, Zinajar al-Nas al-Akar, before the treasures of the earth, Likunaz al-Ar. 5. And it was said, O Commander of the Faithful, we do not understand. 6. And he upon him be peace said, take some earth, R, and some water, Ma. 7. Then cultivate the earth and the water, and the alchemical work, al-Amal, has been accomplished. And he said, the alchemical work is no more than this, I shall say, no more than this. 1. The ancient philosophers, al-Falasifa, did not expand on the alchemical matter lest the people treat it playfully, act fraudulently. 2. According to tradition, it has been transmitted from Abraham, the friend of God, al-Khalil, upon him be peace, who said, 3. The knowledge, al-Ilm, is in the cosmic egg, al-Baya. And it is not an egg, Baya. And it was said to him, Abraham, and what is the alchemical work, al-Amal? And what is the egg, al-Bay? And what is other than the egg? 4. And he, Abraham, upon him be peace, replied, the egg, al-Baya, is the cosmos, world, universe, al-Alam, and the four natures, al-Abai al-Arba'e, and which is the knowledge of the all, ilm al-Kul. 5. And it is said that Jesus, the Spirit of God, Ru'Allah, and his word, Kalamat, said, it, verily, is being, Kayan. 6. And it was said, also, unto him, Jesus, from what is it? 7. And he, Jesus further, said, the speech of God, Kalam Allah. 8. Whereupon, the people were divided over the issue into those who followed the law, al-Shar, and those who paid heed to wisdom, al-Hikmat. 9. And that one, Jesus also, said, he that hath no sword, let him buy a sword, man lam yakin lahu sef philiashtar sefin, cf Luke 22:36b. He, Jesus, did not go beyond that statement. 1. And Apollonius, of Tyana, Bolinas, the sage, al-Akm, FL 1st Center CE, had advanced that, alchemical no-edge, inasmuch as he made mention of the inscription on the inscribed tablet, Naksh al-Law equals the emerald tablet, Tabula Smaragdina, which was, originally, in the hand of Hermes, Trismegistos, Hermes. 2. And he said, there is no doubt about our reality, Akiq. 3. That which is above, transcended, al-Allah, is of that which is below, al-Asfal, and that which is below, al-Asfal, is of that which is above, transcended, al-Allah, accomplishing the wonders, IIB, of the one, reality, al-Wid, as all things, al-Ashia, are of the one, reality, al-Wid. 4. Its father, Ub, is the sun, al-Shams, and its mother, is the moon, al-Qamar. 5. And he, Apollonius also, said, the subtle, al-Laf, is nobler than the gross, al-Gal. It is, the light of lights, Nur al-Anwar, exists through the power of the powerful, Baikwat al-Kawi. The earth ascends to heaven, then it descends and rules over earth and heaven, that which is above, al-Allah, and, as well as, that which is below, al-Asfal. 1. Then know that God, blessed and exalted be he, took a cosmic, alphabetical, trace, line, Ka'an, and cleft it in the middle, lengthwise, by LL. 2. Then he made one of these two lines rotate about the other. 3. And between the two he made the cosmos, al-Alam. 4. But the cosmic, alphabetical, line, al-Ka, came into being from the point, al-Nuka, and derived its motion from it. So understand that which we say. The following few paragraphs down to which is omitted in Ma 84:55. Sections here are with a few minor changes cited from Jabir B. A with Makron YYA with Makron NS, Kitab al-Mawazin al-Sagar, the lesser book of the balances, the Arabic text of which can be found, for example, in Berthrolot, Chimmy. Volume 3 page 114. 1. Then know that God created all things from the four elements, al-Anir, which are, I, fire, al-Nar, 2, air, al-Hawa, 3, earth, al-Ar, and 4, water, al-Ma. 2. There, also, emerged the foregoing, the four elevated and ancient natures, al-Uzaxt al-Arba al-Awali al-Kadamiya, namely, I, heat, al-Arid, 2, cold, al-Buridat, 3, moistness, al-Rubat, and 4, dryness, al-Ubusat. 7. When intermarriage, within, the elements took place, 1. The element, fire expressed two fundamental qualities, namely heat and dryness, equals natures 1 and 4. 2. The element, water expressed the two fundamental qualities cold and moistness, equals natures 2 and 3. 3. The element, earth expressed the two fundamental qualities cold and dryness, equals natures 2 and 4. And 4. The element, air expressed the two fundamental qualities heat and cold, equals natures 1 and 2. 1. Then God, exalted and glorified be He, created from the foregoing, the higher world and the lower. Al-Alam al-Alawi wal Sufla equals the heavens and the sublunary world of generation and corruption. 2. Not being in a state of constant equilibrium, its primordial constituents, Abai, tended to revert to a state of degeneration, corruption, al-Fazad, until we called into being. The edifice of the two luminaries, Tarkib al-Naharain equals the sun and the moon. 3. He, God, exalted and glorified He when He created the sun, al-Shams, He set its constituents, Abai, in order, equilibrium, the particles, elements, al-Ajiza, of which are the vehicles of the blessings of fire, Allah al-Nar, 4. And He intensified it, the fiery particles of the primordial sun, and it produced the color of the element, fire, Lon al-Nar equals light. 5. And He created the moon, al-Qamar, which is the recipient of the sun's fiery particles, Muidd al-Aja, and the locus of the element, water, Kalb al-Ma, above the particles, al-Aja. 6. And it, the moon, produced the color of the water, Lon al-Ma, equals silver blue. 7. Thus came into being the two recipients, the sun and the moon, al-Kabalain, which, however, are not merely passive realities, al-Munfa'ilain, since the two active realities, al-Fa'ilain, are I, fire, al-Nar, and 2, water, al-Ma, and the two passive realities, al-Munfa'ilain, 3, earth, al-Ar, and 4, air, al-Hawa. So know, O Abbas, and be well aware that whatsoever has its elemental constituents, Abai, and equilibrium is not consumed by the two luminaries, equals the sun and the moon, and is not dissolved away by the water of the streams, Alma al-Gudran. 2. Such as pure gold, al-Dahab al-Khalis, the food of which is nature. Text uncertain, al-Abat. 2. So be aware. By God, I have set forth for thee two mighty gates, al-Babain al-Amain, regarding experimental, Amalan, and theoretical, Ilman, alchemy. 3. I have made mention of all that is appropriate, Mutajan, about it and worthy of inquiry, Sail and Anhu. 1. Then know, furthermore, O wayfarer, that they, past alchemists, have named this secret, alchemical process, task, Iawan, transmutational, vitalistic, regenerative. 2. For this, there are two reasons. Firstly, since that which exists is something living, ion, by virtue of its soul, ruh, spirit, nafs, and body, jasid. 3. Such is also found in the philosopher's stone, Hajar-i-Yukum, and they thus came to make use of the expression transmutational, regenerative, hyani. 4. The other reason is related to the fact that the basis of this alchemical work depends on purified oil, dunaim wahar, and, since oil, dun, is related to the animal, awayan, it hath been designated by this particular name equals ar Maida 4 xx. 1. And as for their having named it interior, Javani. 2. This is by virtue of the fact that three realities, things, Ashia, and three elements, Anur, exist, in the atmosphere, Jah, VV, of the world of existence, Alam Iamkin. 3. This is the greatest pillar, Rukni Am. 4. And after the manifestation, Zur, of its pillars, Arkan-iu, in the world of being, Alam-i Wujud, it becomes something, exteriorized, concrete, Barani, ARINBMC 36, 363. 1. Now as regards the referring of the name the philosopher's stone, ajar, to this entity, thing. 2. The reason for this is in view of the fact that the philosopher's stone, ajar, by virtue of the spiritual power, quad iron, latent within it, is capable of effecting the removal of iron. Add equals base impurities? 12. And this upright pillar, Rugni Kawam, the philosopher's stone, furthermore, displaces and transforms all natural bodies, forms, etc., through its spiritual might, Qudret Iran, and lordly power, Quadi Rabbani. 1. And thus, after these disclosures, there remains neither obscuring, cipher nor enigma, neither illusion nor secret relating to this alchemical matter, AMR, but we have disclosed and clarified it. 2. This in spite of the fact that I did not and do not intend to write extensively on this subject. 3. Nonetheless, I have fully, subtly, and in detail set forth this bountiful remembrance equals this epistle, to the end that you, through the instrumentality of your own heart, by Cananiatai Fuad I could, might vision the mighty sign, Iae Qudret, and the divine power, Galabatai Elahi, on the level of the natural forms, Makamayat Sad, and be prepared, musta idd, for the eschatological meeting with the greatest elixir, Liki Ixerai Am, the illustrious essence, Jevharai Mukaram, and the glorious and mighty spirit, Ruai Mufakamai Muazzam, him whom God shall make manifest, Man Yuhiruhu Allah equals the Babi Messiah figure, who is the agent of the inversion of human spirits, Ar, the agent of the renewal of the elements, Anir, and the agent of the resurrection of hearts and intellects. 1. Since I have arrived at the point of mentioning this blessed name, equals that of the Babi Messiah, I shall, sincerely and for the sake of clarification, make further mention of this science. ILM equals alchemy, so that its nobility and favored nature might be celebrated among the servants. 2. Until the manifestation of that Son of Reality, Shams I Akit, the hidden and intended bounty, Jedi Gabai Makt, and praiseworthy point, Nuketai Mamd, equals Man Yuhiruhu Allah, the Babi Messiah. 1. Then take some white gum, resin, Samkatai Bay, which is the whitened and purified earth of the sulfur, Ri Kibratai Mwaharai Mubai, which ought, in other words, to be in a state of immaculate whiteness, with Makron F. al Bay, such that there in no wise remains, therein, any turpidity, darkness, tiragi. 2. Then combine, mizaj, it with the red gum, resin, Samkatai Umret, which is the spirit of moistness, Nafsai Rab, that is to say, 3. Purified oil, Dunai Mutahar, which has been treated, nurtured, Tarbiat Shudi, with quick lime, kills, and has attained the stage, Makam, at which the oil, done, has not been burned up, 4, and is the essence of redness, with Makron F. al Umret. 5. This is such until they are completely dissolved, fused together, to the extent that no trace of the earth, remains except that which has been, thoroughly, assimilated, dissolved, mallow. 1. At this point in the alchemical process, the work, amal, is completed. 18. And this on the lowest level? Makamai Kalal, has found consummation. Byantia Razad, since the dawn time of meaning and exposition has been made manifest from the horizon of certitude. 2. Then cling you unto it in order that you may be one who holds fast unto the firm handle, al-Urwat al-Wuthka, the most elevated and brilliant cord, al-Kate al-Duri al-Ayla, and the strong and most trustworthy rope, al-Abl al-Mukum al-Afa, and be of those who have quaffed of the essences of mystic meaning, Jawahir al-Ma'ani, from the founts of the divine perpetuity, Uyun al-Aman, and thus be numbered among the well-informed, al-Razakin. 1. And know furthermore that this science, alchemy, ILM, despite its great nobility, sharafat, and sublimity, ulov, is intimately related to the world of nature, alam-I abat. 2. If an individual does not understand the worlds of nature, awalam-I abat, how can such an one possibly understand the science, ILM, of that which is beyond nature, abat? 3. Notwithstanding their ignorance of the levels, meritib, of existence, there are those who consider themselves eminently learned. 4. Praised be God above that which they assert, for they are not among those who are informed. 1. Having expressed certain grades of utterance and evidence, of analysis and explanation, I bequeath unto you who has sought the most great elixir, Ixer I am. 2. that which will render them independent, through wealth, Gani, of whatsoever is in the observable dominion, Mulki-Mashhud, 3, and thereby of the want of food, drink, and clothing and whatever is required, to prevent poverty. 4. Yet, you shall remain, essentially, poor, much, and in dire need, Muter. 5. Nay, rather, the more so than previously, since the assembling of wealth is nothing but a guide to its dispersal for freedom from want. Riches, Ghana, is, in reality, the path to true poverty. Fakir. 1. So seek out a religious cause, AMR, such that you be detached from the matter of the elixir, Iksir, and all that is in the heavens and on earth. 2. Then seek for that which is the furthermost tree, Shajaretai Kuswa, the greatest subtlety, Lafatai Kubra, the all-glorious height, Rafrafai Abba, the low tree beyond which there is no passing, Sidrat al-Muntaha. 3. And the stations, Makamat, of nearness to God, and the retreats of eternity, Makmanai Baka. 4. This is the legacy, Vayat, of this servant, Bahala, though being occupied with these alchemical matters need not be an impediment to the entering of this gate, equals being a Babi. 5. Say, then enter it, O thou concourse of faithful ones. 6. And praise be to God, Lord of all the worlds. The search for alchemy has brought into being thousands of useful medicines. ABU 3274. Such a one is rarer than the red sulfur. To this every possessor of sublime knowledge doth testify. BH 06743. What hath been said was and is for the sake of God, for the helpless people are unaware of the root of the matter and have fallen prey to alchemy and the like. BH 01564. The most great elixir hath been the word of truth, if but an atom thereof be bestowed upon the people of possibility. Thou shalt behold all the copper of existence transformed into pure gold. BH 02654. That state of matter which is the cause of the equilibrium and perfection of the body is that perfect and balanced nature obtainable through the composition and mixture of the elements. It is physical and not spiritual. AB 00567. The glorious maturity of this world depends upon the realization of two things: the establishment of the era of universal peace and the discovery or appearance of the hidden science which shall renovate all the conditions of existence. ABU 0929. Now drink from the cup of love, for the ancient beauty, that the greatest elixir of thy desire and hope may penetrate the copper of thy conditions and affairs, turning black copper into red gold as the divine alchemy manifests its power. AB 06110. That opposing soul who dwells on the island hath taught alchemy to certain ones that their insight might increase, but it hath only added to their blindness. In Aliv 4 persons were engaged in this pursuit for some time, and they have seen and will see naught but loss. BH 01564. Strive in this day to attain the elixir of the divine word. It is the effective agent, the protector, the conqueror, the divine water, and the crown of victory within the primal reality. Indeed, it is the matchless essence, the secret of the concealer, and the secret of secrets. BH 023831. One time he said to Kalam, each person that says, I have this process, his own soul proves his loss and lies. By virtue of this, he prohibited busying oneself with it and working with these kinds of sciences, including divination, Jafr, and geomancy. Ramal was forbidden in most of the tablets. BHU 0025. Thus the parts of the elixir were completed in the well of decomposition, and God took the distillation. Thus whoever was in the vessel and alembic, God the Exalted called through the tongue of his beloved, Come to me, my beloved. So he ascended from the earthly far temple to his true homeland or nearer. BB 00022. Tafsir al-Basmala. As for the matter of alchemy, this is a matter under divine protection and concealment. Its day of manifestation has not yet come, and until its day of manifestation, which represents the stage of perfection of this world, arrives, its attainment is impossible and unachievable. Therefore, all their striving and squandering of resources devoted to this matter will ultimately prove fruitless and without result. AB 09916. Assist ye the cause through the negation of negation and the affirmation of the Aleph of affirmation, through the help of thy Lord who is the temple of him who is invoked for help, or through those among the great ones who have the capacity for that, for this is the completion of the work in the elixir manuscript according to the technical terms known therein. And God is all-powerful, the mighty, the omnipotent. BB00612. For example, some have asked about numerology, and likewise about the elixir, and likewise about the poetry of poets and sayings of mystics. However, today these sciences are not and have not been beloved, for these sciences have been and will be the cause of delay and hindrance. Many who engaged in the elixir and numerology lost their minds from excessive delusion and reflection, and signs of madness appeared in them. BH01733. In the mixing and combination of things, two stations are to be considered, one through pure absolute power, and this depends on his leave and is specific to his presence. The other through the conjunction of harmonious things that are not mutually repellent, and this, after knowledge of the perfect nature, is known among the philosophers as the egg, and it is the fashioned stone, containing the four natures, and after analysis is capable of complete mixture. BH07258. In brief, what is intended by the hidden craft is that thou shouldst separate the four elements from a single thing, and after purifying each element from incidental impurities through dissolution and coagulation, unite these elements. The purpose of purification is that they be cleansed of impurities that prevent and obstruct, that they may become capable of true mixture. The stone exists in one of the three kingdoms and is visible in the streets and markets. BH03017. Consider from a beginning that hath no beginning unto this time hath there appeared a manifestation who educated people thus. Consider how God hath created gold and silver upon the earth, all belong to God, and in every revelation none should possess them save God. And when established in the manifestation of God's revelation, then all become possessors like what God manifested in the days of Solomon, when 100 leagues were paved with gold whereon God's host stood firm. BB00005, Pons Cheyenne. As to what thou didst write regarding one of the friends of God expressing sorrow at the believer's involvement with the art of alchemy, verily he hath spoken the truth. Indeed, right is with him in forbidding this practice. Numerous tablets have been sent down from the heaven of God's will and dispatched to all regions concerning this prohibition. It is most strange that despite the explicit prohibition, they should occupy themselves with this futile pursuit that neither nourishes nor enriches. BH00469. Know thou that the principal aim in expounding this noble science is the knowledge of the honored stone and the knowledge of its substance and origin from which it is derived, and thereafter the stages of its separation, purification, and union. The divine philosophers have, in one sense, applied the term stone to the substance and origin from which the stone is derived, and some have interpreted it as referring to the enduring earth which, after the separation of the stone, is called the white magnet. BH11861. Look first to the hidden knowledge which is the essence of all sciences, for its pillars are four: western mercury, which is cold and moist; eastern yellow water, which is hot and moist; eastern red water, which is hot and dry; and the purified weight known as the iron body and sacred earth, which is cold and dry. Also, all its operations are four: first, the separation of matter; second, the marriage, through which the precious stone is completed; third, the separation of pillars and natures; and fourth, the combination of pillars, and at this stage the elixir is completed and appears in the garment of excellence, demolishing ranks and caring not for thousands. BB00023. Regarding the four pillars, first, one must know wherein the all-wise Lord and all-knowing Sovereign hath placed this mighty matter and sublime mystery. Then must one purify and sanctify the soul and spirit from the cage of self and desire, that it may become worthy of this divine trust and heavenly artifice. Take then the luminous water from the dark fire, that the high may be distinguished from the low, and separation be made between water and earth. After separation, let purification occur that it may be fit for marriage and mixture. That is, burn the sulfur with gentle fire, which is the moist putrefaction of the wise ones, until the earth of sulfur is extracted from the water of sulfur. BH00212, Loikemia 6, concerning the question about the elixir. Know thou that God hath not created anything save that he hath placed therein the letter of the elixir according to its station. As for the realities, journey with me to the throne where I have arrayed them before thee with mine own hands, that thou mayest witness the fire. This is the greatest name of God. Kindle it upon the unveiling of the veils from the hearts, then set the branch apart that it may grow. Take from the fruit of the tree which emerged from Mount Sinai according to the measure, in the mystery of destiny, and convey it to its place. Thou shalt find the greatest red oil upon this fire, nearer than the twinkling of an eye. BB00421. After nurturing it in the eye of the sun, which is oiled, that is, the heat of the oil draws out its excess moisture, in this case it solidifies and appears like marble. It must be freed from the oil, and after being freed and washed, some of that same water from which this stone was produced must be made to prevail over it, and gradually with a fire like the heat of the sun it must be nurtured until whatever it has taken from the essence of oil is dissolved by this water, which is the key, and this operation must be repeated until that which is the essence within this stone is entirely extracted, and this essence is known as the red sulfur, the philosopher's gold, and the two-winged gold. BH00235. Sulfur is the fire of the love of God, and mercury is the sea of the knowledge of God. Therefore, blend these two noble elements and unite these two most upright pillars, that thou mayest obtain the most precious stone, that is, the jewel of jewels, the ruby from the mine of the kingdom, so that thou mayest discover the supreme elixir and find the true alchemy, and cast it upon the brass and iron of souls to transform them into pure gold. If thou seekest the alchemical art, this is it. If thou wishest for the precious stone, this is it. If thou desirest the crimson sulfur, this is it. All else is fruitless and without result, barren and without yield. Hearken unto me, seek thou this supreme elixir of the kingdom. AB 06652. As to thy question regarding the saying of Maria, the essence of Maria's work concerneth the white and red gums, and the red gum is derived from the white gum. Whoso findeth this hath attained the ultimate goal. This is the meaning of our saying, were it not for the moon, the sun would not exist, and were it not for silver, gold would not exist. By silver we meant the white earth, which is the white gum, and from it we brought forth gold, which we termed the red gum. This is the philosopher's gold and their sulfur, and the tawny egg, and it hath names beyond counting which none hath discovered save him who possesseth knowledge of the book. With thy Lord is the knowledge of all things, and in his grasp are the keys to the treasuries of all things. BH00088. Loikemia 2. The process consisteth but of separation, purification, and combination, this being the truth of which all the prophets have spoken. When thou hast known the foundation of nature from the mine of divinity, take thereof according to thy need. Then distill it with the water of life which is of its nature and closest to it in affinity, until this foundation becometh pure white. Then subject it to water and place it in moisture until the prescribed amount of this foundation dissolves. When this earth dissolves with this spirit, thereafter place it in darkness until it mixes and becomes one thing. Then coagulate it over a gentle fire. If thou perform this twice or more, that is, the dissolving and coagulating, that is closer to the truth, if ye would do it. BH00020. Tafsiri Hierophatimukat IH. Similarly, for the stone and that which is derived from it, according to the stations and conditions manifested therein and the reflective qualities it assumes, they have found outward examples and similitudes, designating each by a name befitting its station. For instance, before separation it is called by one name, and after separation by other names, just as they have mentioned 3 stations for the stages of separation, spirit, soul, and body, and some have termed these water, fire, and earth. Likewise, before purification it bears one name and after purification another, and at each stage of solution, coagulation, and sublimation, it takes on a name corresponding to and resembling that station. Thus it has been termed the resplendent water, the sulfuric water, the aerial fire, the volatile, gold, silver, sun, moon, and other names beyond counting save by God alone. BH118610. Know, O seeker, that the essential purpose is the knowledge of the stone and the elaboration of what lies hidden within it, its purification and its marriage. The stone itself must be purified through the aid of the stone itself and be elaborated, for if anything else intervenes, the temperament becomes difficult. Therefore, take the stone and through Azrael extract from it the spirit and soul, then strive to purify it until through operative measures it becomes pure and clean from the intervening impurities that prevent. Then return what thou hast extracted to the body, that through the confirmation of Israfil, the spirit of that dead body may be quickened and thou mayest observe a new creation, whereupon thou shalt say, Blessed be God, the best of creators. For the body will not accept another spirit, nor will the spirit turn to another body. This is the truth wherein there is no doubt. BH00088, Laocomeia 2, this essence of essences hath appeared from the mind of divine wisdom and is and ever shall be the primal word. It is the elixir of triumph, the sign of oneness, and the cause of the world's healing from its diverse ailments. As to what you wrote about returning water to the body, if there is a reduction in the repetition of water, what should be done? It was submitted, and they said, first, you must know that the intended water was the divine water, and that water is characterized by oiliness, for oiliness is concealed within it. For if the water were pure water, meaning plain water, it would never be capable of extracting the hidden oil in the earth, which is called the gold of the sages and the essence of essences. Moreover, mixture is impossible, for the hidden oil in the earth has been called fire and red sulfur in one station, and there can be no mixture between oil, which is the essence of fire, and water. BH00789 as to what thou hast asked concerning the noble stone, whether it be copper or lead or something else, know thou that it hath been called by all names, but most people understand not. The people's intention regarding copper was not the copper of the common folk, nor their lead, nor their gold. Thy Lord is verily the all-knowing, the all-informed. We have sent down concerning this knowledge diverse epistles in an eloquent Arabic tongue and a lucid Persian language, and we have sent thee that which will make thee independent of every possessor of knowledge and wisdom. Read it and ponder upon it, that thou mayest find the knowledge of thy Lord encompassing those who are in the heavens and on earth. We do not desire that any of the loved ones occupy themselves with it. Rather, it behooveth thee and those who have believed to make your chief concern in these days the remembrance of God and the promotion of his decisive and wise cause. His love is verily the supreme elixir and the most glorious crown, whereby the base metals of hearts are transformed into pure gold. BH04806. As to the ruling concerning the sister of prophethood, know that the cause hath descended from the station of B to the station of the jinn. Then as thou hast accepted the decree of thy Lord, as for the ruling in the realm of the heart and the sanctification of thy Lord above all things and similitudes, when thou hast likened one similitude unto another, then the matter hath been decreed and the ruling made binding. And likewise in every realm through all that the book hath enumerated for his cause. And verily in this station of thine take the tree of Sinai from the head of the youth, then wash it at the boundary of Sapha, then take its water 4 times. When thou hast taken the 5th water it must needs be a thin yellow. Then preserve it and take oil from the 4th oil of sulfur after leaving it from the first part from the first water, and likewise similar to the first. When it reacheth the boundary of 7, the name of God, the living, shall be made manifest. Cast it according to the measure thou wishest from God's outpouring, for I find no cessation in the outpouring of God. BB00175, Kubba on Gematria and its sister, as to what thou hast asked concerning the stone, know thou that it lieth scattered in every place, and within it we have ordained treasures that none knoweth save him whom we have taught knowledge from our presence. Verily thy Lord is the all-knowing, the all-informed. It is one in itself, yet from it appear multiplicities. Blessed is he who recognizeth it and witnesseth therein the power of God, and whom nothing preventeth from this straight path. It is God's treasure among his servants, the repository of mysteries among his creation, and the dawning place of power to every discerning one who seeth. We have ordained within it a water which we have named the fugitive, and we have nourished its earth with this water until there ascended by the power of the water the gold that was hidden within it. Verily it is the red sulfur and the crown of crowns, the soul concerning which the wise have discoursed and in yearning for which multitudes have perished. It appeareth as water, yet is fire in its nature and air in its essence. We have ordained earth within it and watered it with its water, and we have caused to grow therefrom the flowers of wisdom. Verily it is a mighty mystery. BH01597, Laocomeia 1. We have appointed the alembic and retort from the beginning of this cause among our servants, that we might extract the elixiric components from the hearts of those who desire naught but God and are thankful unto him. Yet we appointed not the alembic and retort, save that we sent down death upon all people, and this they recite at all times when they mention that death is truth. After this was perfected the number of the 1 before the 10, and lo, the human form appeared in wondrous creation. Its outward aspect is a gate, and it is the letter Ha followed by the full Vav in a mighty book, and its inward aspect is Vav followed by the full Ha in an impregnable book. In the form of man hath been created that subtle essence which is the most great name. Whoso possesseth it shall be manifested before all the worlds. This is the most exalted name, none in all the worlds can fathom its mystery. This is the most impregnable name, none in all the worlds can resist what God hath ordained for him beneath its shadow. Through it are they glorified, through it are they beautified, through it are they magnified, through it are they illumined, through it are they perfected, through it are they exalted, through it do they gain mastery, through it do they gain dominion, through it do they gain sovereignty, through it do they find all that they love, through it do they behold all that they desire in the path of God. And all that God hath created in the kingdoms of heaven and earth, and what lieth between them, is contained within this temple, the temple of man. Will ye not then be thankful? BB 00044, Kitabu el Bath, O questioner. Hearken unto the counsel of the pen of command. When thou dost purpose to pursue this hidden art, first ponder and reflect whether this supreme craft exists, or whether, like the Simurgh and Phoenix of old, it is but a name without reality. Consider whether these things must needs be similar and congruent, or different and contrary. When thou art apprised and hast attained certitude of its existence and source, there is no harm if thou shouldst strive to acquire it. Today the philosophers of the earth deny this divine secret and celestial wisdom, having proven to their own satisfaction that such a thing is impossible. Were there proofs to be mentioned, it would lead to prolixity. In brief, the cause of their denial is the preservation of the power of choice, for this treasure hath been guarded from the eyes of the treacherous and the hands of thieves. Ere long, however, some shall acknowledge and confess it. The manifestation of this hidden treasure among these people is a sign of the world's maturity, after which shall follow grave peril and barren tribulation for the world and its people, unless all enter the divine paradise. O seeker! Hearken unto the counsel of this imprisoned servant. Act not before knowledge, and seek not from other than the source. For everything a cause hath been ordained, and for every matter an outlet. If thou desirest it, be not heedless thereof. Enter every house through its door. Thus was it revealed aforetime and now in this perspicuous tablet. Reflect upon the source of this supreme craft until thou attainest certitude and knoweth. It hath been revealed before from the most exalted pen that it existeth in the noblest of the three kingdoms. Ponder well, it is in the lesser world, and the lesser world reflects the greater world, nay rather encompasses it. They have considered the spheres as the greater world, and named the three kingdoms as animal, vegetable, and mineral. Likewise it existeth in the noblest of all possible things, and they have said it is in the mountain that is related and connected to the lesser world. If any soul fail to comprehend these allusions, which are more eloquent than explicit declaration, and find not the truth, his pursuit of this knowledge would not be, nor ever shall be, advisable. BH 00088, Law Alchemia 2, the AI selected and, in most cases, AI translated excerpts that follow are included for research purposes and may be inaccurate or out of context. Details on this ongoing research project can be found at https://youtube.be/59ggen0fl3u. In Baghdad there was a small room, about one-third the size of this one, in which a number of the believers were living. ABU 3314. If the Blessed Beauty was not exiled to Baghdad and did not stay 11 years, the fame of the cause would not have become international. ABU 0621. 11 years sojourn in Baghdad widened immensely the circle of the influence of the cause and carried its fame to the four corners of the earth. ABU 0962. In the days we spent in the abode of peace, we would sit in the coffee house and meet with souls both familiar and strange, from within and without. BHU 0008. Vast amounts of jewelry and many precious objects were in our possession, but all of them were lost. Despite all this material wealth, we arrived in Baghdad with nothing. ABU 1117. The Blessed Beauty, may my spirit be a sacrifice for his loved ones, traveled directly from Tehran to Hamadan, from Hamadan to Kermanshah, and from Kermanshah directly to Baghdad. AB 04317. From Persia they exiled him, saying, now his cause is uprooted. No more trace of him will remain. But no. If he had not come to Baghdad, his cause would not have made such progress in Persia. ABU 0513 He was among those who were in the presence of the throne when the dawning place of revelation was in the land of Iraq, and who would recite the verses of God before the throne at eventide and at dawn. BH 03900 When and where were the hidden words revealed? Abdul Baha responded, in Baghdad, in a room overlooking the Tigris River. At the time of its revelation, the blessed countenance of Baha'u'llah was most excited. ABU 3662 At the time of our exile, the most noteworthy man, the first man of Persia, was Mirza Akka Khan, the prime minister. What a pity it is that such a noteworthy family should be annihilated because of the acceptance of such a faith. ABU 0980 When they exiled us from Persia, from Tehran, to Baghdad, there are 30 stages. In these 30 stages we did not find one Baha'i. We did not meet one. And now in every one of these stages there are great numbers of Baha'i friends. ABU 0236 What hardship, grief, or affliction could be greater than that which occurred at the time when the blessed beauty was exiled from Tehran? Hearts of stone were melted. All the relatives were weeping and lamenting. All were in utter despair. ABU 1755 Whither is the ancient beauty gone, O most great house of God, he through whom God hath made thee the cynosure of an adoring world, and proclaimed thee to be the sign of his remembrance unto all who are in the heavens and all who are on the earth? BH 01536 Ziyarat Nami Bait. During our migration from Iraq, we informed most of the servants about what had appeared and would appear, such that were the revealed tablets to be read, all would testify to that which has flowed in this tablet from the pen of the truthful, the trustworthy. BH 00312 Give praise unto God for having chosen you specially for himself, inasmuch as when the sun of pre-existence withdrew from its native land, it rose from the horizon of Iraq, your land. This is of his bounty unto you, wherewith nothing in the heavens and earth can compare. BH 00610 Surya Arab, the blessed beauty exalted the cause in Baghdad. Manifestly and boldly, he stood before the whole of mankind and peoples, and subsequent to those bewildering occurrences and upon the arrival of the royal decree, Baha'u'llah departed from Baghdad with utmost majesty and splendor. ABU 1033 When the blessed beauty was residing in Baghdad, there was a Shira'i Muslim by the name of Sheikh Abdul Hamid who had a tremendous love and affection for Baha'u'llah. At the time of his departure from Baghdad, this man ran a distance of 10 miles, escorting Baha'u'llah out of the city. ABU 0800 When we were in Baghdad, often with 1 pound of meat we served dinner to 15 or 20 people. We cooked with it Persian stew and filled the pot with water so everyone could have a bowl of thin soup. Notwithstanding this, we were all very happy and thought that ours was the most delicious dinner. ABU 2408 In our days in Baghdad, we would go to the coffee house and sit there, meeting with outsiders and insiders, strangers and friends, those far and near. We would bring the distant near, make the stranger a friend, bring the outsider in, serve the cause of God, aid the word of God, and exalt the name of God. BHU 0011 For 11 years we lived in Baghdad. The heat of that place was very intense, yet we were most happy, because we were assisted in serving at the holy threshold. One cannot experience a greater amount of heat than in Baghdad. At that time the summers were unbearable. We were strangers and penniless, yet our joy was supreme. ABU 2292 For the wronged beauty himself requested permission from the government of Iran to emigrate to Iraq, and to this day the official papers from the Prime Minister of Iran and the Embassy of the Sublime State in Tehran are in hand, speaking and declaring explicitly that the wronged beauty is the one who requested to emigrate and no one forced him to do so. AB 00525 Consider the foolishness of the governments of Iran and the Ottoman Empire and how they banished His Holiness Baha'u'llah from Iran to Baghdad and then to Istanbul, Ramelia, and Akka. Their purpose was to obliterate the cause of Baha'u'llah, yet they performed the greatest service to his faith by surrendering the Holy Land to him without recognizing it. ABU 1689